Well, I just want to say that I am so proud to be here this evening with all of you beautiful, wonderful people. You're just so alive, and the speeches were just so wonderful. Now, I'm not a spokesperson, but I'm going to try to tell you a story. When I was home with my babies, my youngest 6 months, my next door neighbor asked me if I'd like to go to a pool, Curtis Park pool, and teach swimming. I said, oh, I couldn't teach swimming. Oh, no, we'll show you how to do it. So I went with her. And I took my 4 children, a playpen, a bassinet. We all went to the pool. And I taught the children to swim. And I tell you, it was the biggest thrill in my life. And then I kept going and going and going. For one time, I lived up in Ohio for 10 years, and I taught while I was up there. And I picked up these kids to take them in my car. I was by myself then. My children were all grown and out. But I took my children, picked up these people from 2 kids from the neighbors. And when I took them to teach them how to swim, we had the life-saving class and everything. And then they grew up and they went in the Navy. One of them called his mother up one day. He says, Mom, I want you to call Flo right away. He says, because she saved many, many lives today. He says, when I went to jump in, I didn't know how to do it, but then Flo showed me. I crossed my legs and jumped in, did a life-saving jump, and I learned how to swim. And I learned how to be a lifeguard, and I learned how to teach. So I was so proud of that. But then, while I was living up there, I taught at a sportsman's club. And I had all these little boys and girls, and I taught them how to swim out to the, what do you call it? Dock. Not dock, but you know what they have in the float in the middle of the water. So they had to swim through deep water. They climbed out, and they got up there, and I said, all right, now I want you to jump in and go down, come back up, tread water. I taught them all these. And then they said, okay. I let them jump in and come up and say, I can't touch, but I can swim. And every one of them had to jump in, come up, say, I can't touch, but I can swim. And so I went on home one day and went to work the next day. And this man came up to me. He says, I love you, I'll love you till I die. You saved my son's life. I said, I'm sorry, I don't know what you mean. He said, I took my son to the place where they fish, and the dock was, the place where they fished was quite a way out. And he said, I forgot something in the car. So I had to go back to the car to get it. And he said, I heard a splash, and I turned, and my son wasn't in sight. Here he fell in the water. He said, my heart jumped in my chest. He says, I was so frightened. He says, I ran out there, was ready to jump in the water, and the kid came up, and he said, I can't touch, but I can swim. And he swam into the dock and climbed out. Now, what I want to tell you, this doesn't sound like much, but I don't care what the age is, whether they're 90 or 5 years old, when you're teaching them to swim or working with them in the water, let them know if they can swim. If they get in deep water, I can't touch, but I can swim. People fall in the water, and they can't touch, and they panic. And they panic, and they drown. So I can't touch, but I can swim. And I sure want to thank all of you tonight. It means so much for me to be here tonight. I am 91, and I still love to teach swimming. I just taught my grandchild, well, it's my great-grandchild, how to do a life-saving jump. And that's very important for anyone to learn to do, because you never know when the water is...
Just thank everybody.
Okay. My son said I said enough. Okay, thank you. And thank the Hall of Fame.